Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this week's Pilates. It's a rainy Saturday morning, and pretty good to have it rain finally after all the hot weather. So my name is Felicia. Thank you for joining me. Again, this is a 60-minute class. It is basic Pilates. We'll get started with our simple spinal roll downs when you're ready. Okay, so feet just hip width apart, feet just nicely rooted in towards the mat underneath your hip bones, or also known as your pelvic bones. So starting to allow the hands to just be by the side of your hips, just stacking shoulders over your hips, head over the shoulders. Then maybe if you like to, just close your eyes just for a few moments. So when you close your eyes, you start to tune in a little bit more. Notice how your feet is interacting with the mat. Notice whether you are actually standing up tall by pulling the shoulders back, but not too much until you come into a back bend. Just starting to notice how every inhalation sends the crown of your head up towards the sky, and the heels, the ball of your feet, firmly rooted in towards the earth. The next time you inhale, blink your eyes open. Let's get started, shall we? Inhale, arms all the way up, reaching nice and high. Then as you exhale, pressing arms down. So imagining that you're in water, you're lifting very dense water up. Then as you exhale, energetically press that very thick, dense water down. Keep going like this, just 2 more times. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, pressing down. And if you like to, when you do a breath in, you might want to even do a very small back bend to look up towards the sky. Then exhale, pressing down. Feel how your shoulders is actually moving through the joint. Breathing nice and easy. Exhaling, palms coming down. 2 more times. Inhale, sweep arms up. Then as you exhale, press down. 1 more time here. Inhale, reaching way up high. Exhale, press down. Take an inhale through your nose first. Then as you exhale, chin towards your chest, peeling that spine off an imaginary wall, allowing the crown of the head to be heavy. Knees can soften as much as you want to. Don't have to touch the ground. Then slowly lift up again. Starting to stack your spine up, bone by bone. That's it. 2 more times here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, chin towards your chest. Just be mindful that you can actually keep breathing along the way down. It's not a one breath out kind of a roll down. Then slowly starting to stack your spine, bone by bone. Just planting it onto an imaginary wall behind you. 1 last time. Take an inhale through the nose. The exhale, chin towards your chest. Nicely done. So you want to notice that my knees are soft when I roll down, because this is my first few roll downs. I might be quite tight in my lower back, so it gives me a little bit more space if I bend the knees slightly. Alright, standing up nice and tall. Take an inhale forward, arms up. Then exhale, pressing down by the side of your hips. Keep going like this. Inhale, reaching up. Again, very dense air up. Very dense air, pressing it down. 2 more here. Reaching up. That's it. So every time we reach up, see whether you can actually bring your biceps beside the ears instead of just in front of your face, then pressing down. So that is just a halfway. I'll show you again. So not here, but try to see whether you can actually have your hands by the side of your ears before you press down. 1 more time, let's try. Okay? Inhale, arms all the way up. Then exhale, pressing palms down. So I have props around with me. I have my blocks with me. I have a chair here. It's a rather high chair. So I'll be using the front part of the chair to represent the back of your chair, especially if you have a chair that is the kind that is, I would say, much lower. The usual chair that you put at your dining table. Okay? So I'm going to bring the chair along for a stretch at this point of time. So when you're ready, have the back of your chair, if it's the normal shorter chair, facing towards you. Alright? Hands onto the chair itself, starting to walk back. See whether you can actually come into an L shape with your torso and your legs. Notice 90-degree bend through the hips, starting to just allow the heart to melt down towards the earth. So this is a pretty nice stretch here. Try to keep the back flat. If your knees are hyperextending, meaning you're pushing the back of your kneecaps too much to the back that you hear a click, soften the knees slightly. They don't have to hyperextend, okay? Starting to just allow the spine to lengthen. If you're looking forward, try not to. Eye gaze down onto the ground. So the back of the neck is nice and long as well. It's not compressed. Just feeling the stretch through the armpits. If you want to, you can lower the heart down or your chest down. So it comes into a tiny back bend. Okay? Almost unnoticeable through your naked eyes, but then the sensations are quite intense, especially if you're coming into a slight back bend. Just keep breathing, sending the tailbone away, crown of head towards the chair. Nice and easy breath. So wherever I'm actually having my hands reaching towards and my toes pointing towards, this is going to be the front of my mat. Okay? One more breath in here. Listen, before you exit, soften your knees, then roll up. So I want you to scoop your belly in, starting to round the spine, allowing yourself to roll all the way up. Take one breath in, arms all the way up, then exhale, hands coming back down to the side. Great work. Putting the chair away for now, in case we might need to use them again. So let's come into a standing Pilates sequence before we take it down towards the earth, all right? Hands by the side. Just gently roll the shoulders back, just creating a little bit more mobility through the shoulder girdle. Then shoulder roll forward. That's it. Great work. Now shift your weights towards your right foot. Come onto your left tiptoe. So I'll be your mirror image. So allowing that weight to just transcend onto your right foot. Remember 3 foot centers on the right foot, just grounding in, hands onto your hips, lifting the knee in front of the hip. So imagine if you have a ruler and you're trying to measure the distance between one pelvic bone to the next. That ruler is going to be parallel to the ground instead of this way. Okay, so if you're doing this, if you're pitching your hips up, try to lower it down so it's one straight line. Starting to just allow that knee to just be right in front of the left hip. One more breath in here, step it down. Change sides. Shifting weight onto your left foot, come onto right tiptoes, lift the right knee up, just right in front of the hip, hold it there. So if you're starting to lean back, notice that, all right? Then readjust, stand up tall, crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Breathe. Step the right foot down, great work. Now step the feet wide, toes pointing 45 degrees out to the side, knees are already soft. You're going to slowly sink down. Imagine that there's a wall behind you, you're sliding your spine down. Okay, then you're coming straight up again. So knees opening out towards the side, pressing through the outside of your feet just slightly more. I want you to peel the inside of your feet away from the mat. Almost like you're trying to create a higher arc of the inside of the feet. Reaching hands forward, not tilting hips back, which means from side profile, I hope you're not doing this. All right? Don't sit back. Instead, slide down, knees pointing outwards instead of forward. So these are the sensations that you would notice. A strong, straight spine, relatively straight. You should feel a stretch through the inner thighs because your knees are reaching towards your middle toe. You're rooting more into the outside part of your feet where your pinky toes are. 2 more here, breathing. That's it. There is no wrong breath in or out, meaning you can inhale or exhale on the way down. Same thing for your way up. The only wrong breathing in Pilates is when you hold your breath. 2 more here. Nice. Last one. Sinking down nice and deep. Hold it there. Shoulders away from your ears. So hug the belly in. Use the core. Zip up the side seams. If these terms sound quite unfamiliar to you, then I do encourage you to watch the earlier videos, perhaps 2 months back, to actually watch the very basic Pilates, where I speak about the lingo that I use when it comes to teaching a class. Okay? One more breath in here. Squeeze your bum slightly more. Tuck your tail under. Then as you exhale, slowly rise up. Thighs should be pretty warm. Heel toe your way in. Then close up the thighs, feet together, so no holes. Then reaching hands forward as you sink down into a gentle squat. Now from side profile, there is always a tendency that we want to arc the lower spine. So instead of doing that, can we bring the belly and the ribs in, tuck the tail under? Okay, did you see that? So from here, it's a very small movement. Watch this part of my back. I am starting to flatten that arc slightly more by tilting my tailbone down, hugging the ribs in, shoulders away from your ears, all right? Stay here first. Sweep your arms back, to the front of the mat. So I should be facing here, right? This is the front of my mat. Then reaching forward. That's it. Reaching arms back, nice and straight. Squeeze the shoulder blades, elbows hugging in instead of out. And inhale, maybe. Or you can exhale with your hands moving forward. Again, there is no right or wrong when it comes to breathing. Just allow your breath to move freely. At any point of time you feel that your breath is getting very shallow, then it's kind of a telltale sign that you might be actually moving beyond what your body can actually handle. Doesn't mean that you should stop doing it, but maybe decrease the intensity of it. Reaching arms back, a little bit more. One more here, hands forward. Then reaching back, hold it there, keep your breath flowing. Shift your weight towards the toes or the ball of your feet. Now this is optional. Lift the heels up without standing up. Find your balance. Breathe in 4, in 3, in 2. Release the heels down. Reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, press the hands down by the side. Inhale again, reach arms all the way up. This time, cactus your arms, elbows beside the shoulders. Now step your feet mat width apart. Okay, so a little bit wider than your hips, perhaps, for firmer foundation. Now with your elbows bent at 90 degrees beside the shoulders, pull the elbows back, chest forward, maybe lifting the chin slightly. Don't overlift. Whenever you do this, you actually compress too much of the back of the neck. So allow the heart space not to just be presented forward, but also reaching up towards the sky. So we're doing a back bend from the upper spine, not into the lower spine. Take note, there's a big difference here, okay? So if I bend from my lower spine, I'm doing this. If I'm bending from my upper spine, which is my thoracic spine, I'm presenting only the chest forward, lifting the heart up, but we're not putting any pressure into the lower back. So be mindful of all these things. Just breathe. And that's it. One more breath in here. Then as you exhale, sweep hands behind you, interlace all 10 fingers, push your knuckles down. Great work. Now I'd like you to soften your knees slightly. Then when you're ready, pitch your buttocks back, but lean the crown of the head forward. So it's a flat back, starting to just feel into this stretch. It is almost the same thing as when we're putting our hands onto the chair, allowing our heart to fall towards the earth. Almost the same thing, but we're going to create more intensity, if you can, by lifting the fist a little higher. Maybe pointing the knuckles a little bit up towards the sky. Breathe. Knees are soft, allowing your ribs to hug in. One more breath here. Then slowly, hands onto your thighs. Starting to straighten your knees, point your toes to the top of the mat, lengthen your spine. So instead of a rounded spine, which is what I'm showing right now, can you push against the thigh very gently, not too much, to kind of tip the crown of the head forward. Now friends who are fairly flexible, walk your hands down to your shin, keep a flat spine. Not to your kneecaps, I want it underneath the kneecaps, okay? It's a very gentle pressure on your shins. Shift the weight forward to the ball of your feet. That's it. Breathe. Friends who are, again, fairly flexible, you can slowly have your hands on the ground, but make sure that the spine is not rounded. If you're starting to round the spine, can I invite you to come back up again, either onto your shin or onto your thighs. So you actually get the intention of this posture itself, which is to create space through the spine to find that expansion, that length, I would say. Chin towards your chest slightly. Don't look forward. Look down towards the ground. Back of the neck is long. Then slowly bend the knees, everybody. Round the spine. Stack the spine bone up from the bottom spine, mid-spine, upper spine, shoulders, back of the skull. Great work. Let's come into facing towards the front of the mat. Okay, so this is the front. Where I'm pointing to with my thumb is the back of the mat. I'm stepping more towards the front of the mat because I might be coming into a plank position pretty soon. Feet about hip width apart. Bend the knees, sweep hands forward into a squat position. Then as you exhale, sweep hands back, lean forward. If you like to, lift the heel. Inhale, heels down, fingers forward. Exhale, lift the heels, sweep hands back. Now again, my inhale is to reach hands forward, but it's okay if you exhale with your hands reaching forward. Reminder, keep breathing. That's it. So lifting the heel is optional. You can just keep the heels grounded by shifting the arms back and just leaning the weight towards the ball of your feet if you prefer that. Okay, one more time here. Now we're going to stay with our heels lifted, arms reaching back. Hold it there, breathe. Now keep the heels lifted for friends who are willing to try this. As you inhale next, lift yourself up on tiptoes. Exhale, everyone, stand up tall, heels descending down. Now chin towards the chest as you exhale next. Scoop the belly in, simple Pilates roll down, soften your knees. Plant your palms onto the mat, then step back into a plank position. Stay in a plank position, hug the belly in, squeeze the glutes. Remember, this is not a good plank. This is sinking the hips down too low. This is a downward dog already. I want the hips possibly at the height of your shoulders. Puff the shoulders. Take a breath in here as you exhale. You're going to come into a downward facing dog. Hold it there. Now, before you start to walk the dog, which is quite common, notice how your body feels today. If you need a little bit more space or stretch through your hamstring, which is the back of your thighs, walk the dog, which is lifting one heel at a time. If you feel that your back needs a bit more of a stretch, then maybe just pause here. Soften the knees as much as you want to. Press into your palms to lengthen your tailbone up towards the ceiling. So instead of just moving mindlessly, we start to be a little bit more aware of what our body needs on a day-to-day basis. One more breath in here. One more breath out. Now slowly, everybody, drop your knees down onto the mat. Child's pose. We'll stay here only for a few seconds. As you inhale next, shift forward into tabletop. Then stretch your right leg back. Now hips are pointing down towards the mat. Puff the shoulders instead of sinking down. So just remember, heart, which is here, is lifting away from the mat as much as possible. Right hip is pointing down instead of splaying outwards towards the side of the mat. Reach the right leg nice and long. Then as you exhale, we are going to drop the right knee towards your right elbow, crunching in. Extend again, not drop but touch. Right knee, right elbow. Keep going. Now this movement itself, if you notice, when I touch my knee to my elbow, I am rounding the spine. 2 more. Nice. Last one. Now straighten the right leg, hold it there. Thigh is parallel to the ground, not diagonally down, so squeeze the right bum to lift the right heel away from the mat. Curl your heel in towards your bum without dropping the knee down or the thigh down, then straighten parallel to the earth. That's it. Keep going. Starting to move in a manner that is very controlled instead of flicking. It's so easy for you to flick like this, right? Flick. Instead of doing that, can we control the way in and control the way out as well? So we start to engage the back of the thigh. This is your hamstring. You got 2 more here. Starting to curl the heel in. Are you starting to feel that bum working quite hard? One more time. Straighten the right leg, hold it there, point the toes back. If you're starting to do this, please, everybody, ribs in, belly in. Then pointing the right toes back, small little circles through the entire thigh bone. It's not an ankle rotation. Be very mindful of that. So I really want you to reach your toes away from you energetically. Then change direction. That's it. So the analogy I always give, imagine there's ink on the tip of your toes. There's a blank canvas at the tip of your toes. You're drawing small black circles. One more here. Knee down. Child's pose. Walk your hands forward. Forehead touching the mat. If your forehead cannot touch the mat, that's okay. If you prefer to touch the forehead down onto something, you can use a block or stack one palm over the other. One more breath here. Now slowly walk your hands to your right, side bend to the right. Fan open the left rib cage. If you want a few more, stack your left palm over your right hand. Your head is framed by your biceps, chest facing down towards the earth, square, so not facing towards the left side. One more here. Then as you exhale, come forward. Take yourself back up into a tabletop position. Stretch the left leg out. Hips is squared. So not splaying and facing the hip bones to the left side of the mat. So try to see whether you can engage the core a bit more by bringing your belly in, ribs in, spine is flat, puff the shoulders instead of allowing the heart to sink down. Then from here, knee to elbow, touch. That's it. Can we start to create a crunch by rounding in, chin slightly towards chest as the knee touches the elbow? It's not compulsory, but it's good for you to feel that abdominal starting to warm up. Great work. You got 3 more here. Last 2. Nice. 1 more. Straighten the leg, parallel the thigh, then curl the heel into your bum, back into a straight leg. As always, move with control. So if you find that it's hard for you to not flick in a way, count the number of counts it takes for you to curl in. So imagine it's like a 2, 1. When you extend, 2, 1. Same count to move out, no rest at the end or at the beginning. Just keep moving in equal counts. And that count also represents your breath. So 2 counts in, maybe it's an inhale or exhale through your nose. That's it. Keep going. Now last 2 here. Curling the left heel in, extending. 1 more, puff the shoulders, belly in everybody. Nice. Hold it there. Reach the left leg out, then small circle through the thigh bone. It's not an ankle rotation, I repeat. Keep going. That's it. That small black circle that you're drawing on that blank canvas through your toe tips. Change. Nicely done. Don't hold your breath. Come into stillness, left knee down, child's pose. Well done, guys. So I know that some of you might feel this in the wrist. If you like to rotate through the wrist, by all means do so. If you're rotating, change direction so it's equal. Extending your hands forward, walk your hands to the outside of the mat on the left. Starting to just allow that right palm to stack over the left. Breathing into your right lung a little bit more. Find that lower right back expanding through every inhalation. Then as you exhale, come back towards the middle. Now take yourself up to a kneeling. Great work. Now in this kneeling position, I'd like you to just come into a position where you can actually sit onto your heels instead of leaning forward. If this is a bit too much and your tendency is to lean forward and this is your best, it's okay to stay here just for a few moments, all right? Now, when you're ready, inhale, coming onto your kneecaps, reach your arms up. As you exhale, cactus your arms. Hold it here, expanding through your heart space. Inhale, chest forward, elbows back. Exhale, rounding in, scoop the belly. 2 more times. Inhale. Chest opens. Exhale, rounding in. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale, rounding in. Now open up the arms in cactus beside the shoulders. Extend the arms, palms facing up. Now walk your knees a little wider. Squeeze your bum so your pelvic bone moves forward. Did you see that? So I'm not squeezing right now. My fingers are on my pelvic bones. If I squeeze my glutes, pelvic bone moves slightly forward. So that's what I want to see. Okay? Palms facing up. Then this time round, we're coming into a bent elbow, like cactus, but palms facing towards your ear. Okay? We're going to start to point the fingers forward. Point the fingers slightly down. Elbow remains, then back up again. Alright? So point the fingers down diagonally, then pointing up towards the ceiling. We're keeping the elbows beside the shoulders, it's not moving. There is a tendency as you point your fingers down to lower the elbows down. Now that is going to decrease the intensity of it. It's not wrong, but it makes it really easy, all right? What I'm doing makes it really easy. If you can, keep the elbows beside the shoulders, almost like you already pinned it there. And then you're just going to start to point the fingers diagonally down, then up towards the ceiling. Starting to notice how this works your upper arm. That's it. Keep going. Squeeze your bum. Don't let it go. Even though you're working your upper body at this point of time, lower body should also be engaged. So you're actually rooting yourself. It's like the roots of a tree. It has to be firm before the leaves on top can actually start to wave in the wind. Keep moving. Feel this? Yes. One more time here. Now, fingers pointing down. This time, face your palms backwards. Okay, so from here, you're going to face it backwards. You're going to start to wave the arm right, left, or left, right. Doesn't matter. Elbow still remains where it is. If you're starting to lower the elbows down, it's okay. But when you find the ability for you to just feel that strength to lift the elbows a little higher, please go ahead, do so. Okay? Starting to work into the arms. Breathe well. That's it. Are you still keeping your bum engaged? Don't relax the lower body just yet. All right, last two. Nice. One more time here. Fingers pointing down. Listen. Flip, palms facing up. Cactus arms. Elbows in. Then open. Great work. Elbows in towards each other. Palms together. Good. 3 more here. So this time round, we're starting to just work into your biceps. Get ready. Now the next time you close your elbows, your forearm, interlace all 10 fingers. At this point of time, I want you to make sure that you're super gluing the inside of your elbows. Okay? Hold it there. Lift your elbows up without separating them. Then come back down. Again, there's a tendency to do a back bend. There is no need to. Just keep your torso really, really stable and straight. Just lift your elbows up to any degree. If moving it upwards makes you open it up, then you're moving too much upwards already. Just make it small, keeping your elbow close to each other. Now you're going to start to feel that burn through here, your biceps, and also your deltoids. Okay? So just allowing that muscle to contract, to work its way. Even though it might actually feel quite uncomfortable right now, breathe into it. Not long more. 3 more here. So there is the amount that you can actually create even without using weights. Your own body is good enough. Okay, last one. Lifting up, hold it there. Elbows squeezing in towards each other, so don't separate. In 4, breathe. 3. Last 2. Last one. Release. Hands by the side. Shoulder roll. Great work. Shoulder roll forward. So my mat is relatively thick. If you find that you have very thin mats and your knees are starting to hurt, remember to double up the mat or pad it up with an extra towel. Okay, from here, you're going to flip your palms back. Lean your body forward slightly. Lean your body forward, bum back. Then interlace all 10 fingers, pushing your knuckles back. Lifting the fist off your bum. Hold it there. That's it. If you want to, you can start to just wiggle around. Nice. Now coming up into a standing knee position, reach your fingers, hands straight forward, belly in, squeeze the glutes, then lean back slightly. One straight line. So hips not dumping down, neither are you bloating your belly forward. All right, so one straight line, then come forward. Go again, shall we? Lean back. Play around with this. Some of you might actually feel it more supportive if you tuck your toes under. Then lean back. Just be mindful. I'm using my core to keep my knee to the crown of my head in one straight line. So it should never be something like this. So if you're doing a back bend, quit doing it. Lean your bum back. On the other hand, if you're doing this, try not to drop the bum down too much. We're just leaning through the crown of the head. Almost as if there is no joints in between our bodies from our kneecap to our crown of the head. So one straight line, something is just pulling you back from the crown of the head, then you shift forward. Now at this point of time, starting to feel also the front of your thigh. Feel that stretch through your psoas, the crease line between your thigh and your torso, shoulders away from your ears, belly, hug it in, so you're not bloating your ribs forward. Last 2, nice. The lower you go, of course, the more intense you'll be. Last 1, hold it there, breathe. Right hand beside your ear, reaching diagonally back. Left hand, this is optional. It's by no means a competition to do this, but if you can, go for it. In 3, in 2, last 1. Slowly come back up, fingers pointing forward. Then come into a wide-legged kneeling position. So wide-legged, knees are apart, heels together. That's it. Breathe well. Shoulder roll, just a couple of times. Shoulder roll forward. Great work. Now come into tabletop position. Then step back, plank, downward facing dog. Hold it here. Starting to walk the dog if you like to. Great. Now slowly, slowly come into stillness. Just descending your heels down. One more breath in here. One more breath out. Float the right leg up, three-legged dog. Knee in towards your nose, crunch it in, shift weight forward. 2 more times. Right leg up, reaching up high, crunching in. That's it. One more time, listen carefully. This one is a hard one, right? Right knee, right elbow. From here, touch your left elbow. Touch your right elbow again. Touch your left elbow. One more set. Touch your right elbow, then your left. Right leg up, three-legged dog. Great. Right knee in towards your nose. Crunch it in. Step your foot in between your palms. Then left knee down, rise up, arms up, low lunge position. If you find yourself feeling quite wobbly, right foot, half a step towards the right. Wider base, larger foundation, more support. Just reaching your arms all the way up towards the sky. Hold it there. Breathe. That's it. Now, there is a tendency right now in 2 ways that you might be actually moving towards. One is you completely sink into the earth, all right? So if you're overdoing this, I'd like to invite you, try to hug the thighs in. Did you see that? So when you hug it in, everything comes towards each other, reaching your arms up high. Okay? The other tendency is that you're doing this. You are literally not allowing your body to sink down. So find the equal balance where you actually sink yourself down to feel the stretch through your hips, but at the same time, integrated enough to feel the strength of your core, everything hugging in towards the midline. Okay? One more breath in here. Then as you exhale, open twist towards the left side, parallel your arms. Breathe well. Nice and easy breath. Now, right fingers with same direction, okay? I'm facing to the top of my mat. I'm going to tap to the inside of my right foot. So lean down, tap down. Then bring it up again. That's it. Lean down, tap down. Great. Nice. You got 3 more here. Lean forward, tap on the inside of the foot. One more time. Lean forward, plant the right palm down on the inside of the right foot. Now left leg, the back leg. You're going to turn it backwards, tuck the toes under, reach the left fingers up towards the sky. So the right arm is pushing the right knee away from you. You should feel a beautiful stretch through the inner right thigh. Stay there for 4, for 3, for 2. Reach the left fingers high up. Last one, listen carefully, keep your lower body exactly where it is. All you want to do is to lift your torso up, hands parallel to the ground, okay? This time round, right toes or right knee pointing towards the top of the mat. Hold it there. Now we're going to lean towards the back of the mat, left fingers straight down, right fingers diagonally up. So what we're going to start to feel is that side seams of your body, just working its way through. Now notice that as I lean towards the side, I'm not touching the ground. Neither am I collapsing through the top shoulder, so I'm not doing this. I'm not facing forward. I am also not sinking my bum down, all right? My bum is lifted above the left kneecap, so I'm really using the waistline to lean sideways, side bend. Great work. Nice. Starting to notice how this feels like. You got 2 more times here. Great work. Last one. Leaning towards the side. Hold it there. So diagonally open up through the heart. Listen carefully. If you want to join me, this is a harder option. By no means a competition. Left hand, lift up. Right hand, reaching side as well. Hold it there for 4. Reach a little bit more energetically. 3. Pushing your right knee towards the top of the mat. Last 2. One more breath in here. Now, lifting up this time round, listen carefully. We're going to rainbow our hands to the back of the mat, step back into a plank position, then downward facing dog, hold it there. We're going to switch to the other side already. All right? Now stay here. Left leg floats up. Left knee towards nose. That's it. Left leg up again. Left knee towards nose. Great. One more time. Listen, this is a hard one. Left knee to your left elbow. Then touch your right elbow, touch your left elbow. to your right. One more set here, to your left, to your right. Left leg up, three-legged up. Left knee in towards your nose. Step your foot in between the palms. Take your time. If you need to wiggle the left foot 1 inch towards the left, go for it. Right knee down. Then rise up into low lunge. Great. So we're facing towards the back of the mat at this point of time. Biceps to frame your head. Ribs in instead of flaring out, because when we're tired, there's a tendency to just dump everything down towards the earth. Right? So I want you to use that strength to lift energetically up, pull your ribs in. At the same time, find that balance of integration and also the ability to let go. So it's not 100% letting go into the earth. It's a balance, okay? Depending on the condition of your body. One more breath in here, reaching up nice and high. Then as you exhale, facing towards the right side, open up your arms, hold it here. That's it. Breathing well, inhale and exhale. Listen, left fingers is going to point down to the inside of the left foot. Ready? Point it down. Then come up, arms parallel. Point it down again, arms parallel. So this is some things that you can expect. Inner left thigh feeling the stretch. I hope you feel that, okay? One more time, plant the left palm down on the inside of the left foot. Right fingers pointing up towards the ceiling. Hold it there. That's it. Breathe well. Nice. Now from here, I'd like you to turn the right toes backwards. Then you can actually face your chest more towards the right side, just reaching right fingers up. We're trying to stack the right shoulder over the left. So if you're collapsing this way, pull the right shoulder back. Your fingers really reach up high, okay? Nice and easy. Slowly keep the lower body as it is. Just take your torso up, parallel your arms. All right? So left knee still pointing towards the back of the mat. This time right fingers is going to drop down to the top of the mat. Ready? Side bend. Same concept. If you're starting to collapse through the left shoulder, you're doing this. Can you just go down very gently, halfway only? No need to go so deep. Yes. Keep going. So what you see on the outside is definitely different from what you feel on the inside, from person to person. So some of you might not even feel a thing by doing this. Some of you might already be feeling a lot by doing something really small. Now, it doesn't matter how deep you go, to be honest. It's the feeling and sensations that you're bringing to your body that matters most. So if you're starting to feel that chiseling effect, awesome, just stay, all right? Now, one more time, lean down, hold it there. Now, options, stay here, starting to notice, all right? Side seams working. Then sweep the right arm beside your ear, left arm beside your ear. We're side bending, we're reaching, we're stacking left shoulder over right. Hold it there for 4, for 3, for 2. Last one. Reach up tall. This time, windmill your hands to the top of the mat. Step back into plank position. Then downward facing dog. Oh boy. Breathe. Nice. Hold it there. Starting to feel into the spaces of your shoulders, of your entire spine. Bend the knees. Look in between the palms. I'm going to jump through into a seated. If you don't like that transition, just make your way into a seated position when you're ready, okay? So we're going to lay our spine down. Get ready. This time round, we're going to start to work into your abdominals, okay? So arms reaching up high. Then as you exhale, fingers pointing up towards the ceiling, chin towards chest, crunching in. Now from here, hands behind the head. Just to allow your hands to hold the weight of your head, but not to yank the head forward. There's a big difference there, all right? Lower down. Curl yourself up, nose to chest. Slowly lower down. Breathe. That's it. Great work, guys. Now, the thing about virtual classes is that I can't see you. Only you can see me. So it's a one-directional kind of a workout. And I hope that my workout has been benefiting you in a manner that actually helps you to perform your daily duties a little bit easier. So you should be functional. Now, the tip about working with a one-directional kind of a virtual class is that always listen to what I have to say in terms of the sensations. So right now, you should starting to feel that your upper abs are feeling that burn. Now your deepest muscle in your abs is called the transverse abdominals. That's where we want to work into. So when you're ready, lift a little higher, the pointy part of your shoulder blades lifting off the mat, then come down only halfway. So you're consistently working, you are not at all resting. You're keeping your muscles engaged in your abs. That's it. Keep going. Beautiful. We are so close to that portion of the class where we just come down into a stretch, a long stretch position. So before we move into that, we should earn that rest, yes? So just allowing the upper abdominals to feel that nice burn. And then you want to hang in there, muscular endurance. Last two, crunching up, lowering the shoulders down. One more time, curl yourself up, hold it there. Right leg up to tabletop, left leg up to tabletop. Now this time, single toe tap, single leg toe tap. Now notice that I'm actually watching my thigh move away from me. Some of you at home, if you're not mindful, this is what you're doing, okay? Can you see the difference? I'm just dropping my heel towards my bum. Try not to do that. Lower the knee down, even if it's halfway. Come back up. If not, you can go ahead and tap the ground away from you. So watch your thigh move away from you. We're not dropping the heel towards the bum. Be very, very wary about that because it's not a wrong movement, to be honest with you, but since you've already made time to work out on a Sunday morning, closing into the afternoon, please make sure that you're using your time wisely. That's it. You can rest at any point of time, but just make sure again that you are really working to your lower abs. Now be mindful, belly button, draw it in towards your spine. So you're trying to close up the gap between the lower back and the mat. This helps you to protect your lower back just a little bit more. Last two, tapping your toes down, lifting up. Last one, tapping down, lifting up, hold it here. If you're tired, rest. If you want to go one last burst, extend both legs. You can have it slightly bent if you prefer, then crisscross. If your knees are bent like mine, crisscross through the thighs. Same thing, if your legs are straight, then you're probably crisscrossing your kneecaps. Small one, shoulders higher. In 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. We're not done yet. Last two. Those who are resting, join me. Everybody, tabletop legs, knees above the hips. Now big toes to touch, knees open out to the side, butterfly legs. Then slowly lower everything down, everything up. So your toes doesn't have to touch the mat. Just lower everything down, everything up. If you're simply too tired, just move your upper body, which is what I'm doing, or move only the lower body, small ones. If you're up for it, both upper body, lower body moves in unison. So all the way up, all the way down. Don't rest. When you come down, we keep going. We got 8 more here. Come on, let's keep moving, all right? And 7. Great. And 6. Last 5. Whew. 4 more. Hands not pulling your head up. Use your upper abs. 3 more here. Last 2. 1 more time. Squeezing abs in. Everything lowers down. Hold it in diamond-shaped legs. Join your heels together if you wish. And hands settle by the side of your hips. Palms facing down or up, it doesn't matter. But shoulders melting away from your ears. Allow the inner thighs to soak in that inner thigh stretch simply by just being the way that you have already made your body come into that shape. Just laying down. Allow the lower back to arc slightly. Then just breathe deeply in through your nose. Open your mouth to exhale. We take about 30 seconds here just to recover. That was quite a long one for the abs, right? So I hope you felt that in your abdominals. Now at the end of your next exhalation, slowly step your feet firmly onto the mat. Draw your heels closer towards your bum. Here's a tip. I typically check whether my fingers can touch my heels or brush my heels. If they can, then great, stay there. Lift the hips up slowly. Then hips descending down bone by bone. That's it. Keep going like this, alright? So hips lifting up bone by bone. Same thing, squeeze bum right at the top. Squeeze even more right to the top. Then lower the spine down bone by bone. So I'm lifting my tailbone up first, then my bump, my lower back, my mid back, all the way up to my upper back. Then as I lower down, upper back comes down first. That's it. Keep going, keep going. Nicely done. Great work. Now notice that as you lift your bum up, is there a tendency that you are just allowing your knees to splay to the side? Can we possibly squeeze our inner thighs in just slightly more? Then rooting into 3 corners of our feet. Find those foot centers. Just press yourself up. Pelvic bones just lifting up towards the earth, away from the earth, sorry. Up towards the sky. One more time. Lifting up away from the earth, up towards the ceiling. Hold it there. Lifting up, squeeze bum. Point the knees away from you. Just starting to notice how this feels like in your glutes, in the back of your thighs. If you're slightly lower like this, just squeeze your bum. You'll naturally lift slightly higher. That's it. One more breath in here. Listen carefully. Keep your hips up high. Come onto tiptoes. Then lower the heels down. Calf work. Lift the heels up high. Heels down. You got 3 more here. Heels coming down. Last one. Hold it up. Now stay on the ball of your feet. Maybe wiggle your foot closer towards your bum. Half a step. Just half a step. Now bum lowers down. Then lift up, squeeze. That's it. Bum lowers down. Lift up, squeeze. That's it. Bum lowers down. Lift up. You got 1 more here only. But we have 4 more to go. This time round, lift up, heels down first. Bum lowers halfway down. Lift up. That's it. 3 more only. Can you feel the intensity right now? So hug the thighs in as well. Don't allow them to splay too much out in a V shape. That's it. Last 2. Squeezing glutes. I promise this is the last one you're going to do. And everything else is a stretch. Bring it up, everything down. Now upper spine first, mid spine, lower spine, tailbone. 1 knee at a time. You're going to hug both knees in towards your chest. This is a counter stretch. Great work. If it serves you to rock side to side, please go ahead, do so. If not, just be in stillness. Everything is a maybe in its sense. Okay, if you know what happy baby pose is, please go ahead, do that. Elbows through the inside of your kneecap. Now, I like to use my peace finger to grab onto my big toe, but you can also grab onto the outside of your feet. Alright? So starting to just pry open the thighs. Hold it there. Shoulders away from your ears. Slowly, slowly, everything in. Step your feet down, 1 at a time. Now I'm going to use 1 block. If you don't have a block, you are welcome to use a cushion. I'm going to lift my bum off. Now put the block underneath your sacrum. Now your sacrum is not underneath the arc of your spine. So watch this. If your block is here, not so good, yeah, this is the arc of your spine. It's going to be quite painful. Can you lower down that big bone that it can actually settle on? That's a comfortable zone. So it's above the tailbone, but underneath the arc of your spine. Now knees can be bent this way, what I'm doing. Or if you prefer a bigger stretch, which creates a bigger back bend, you can straighten your legs. Now you don't have to go completely straight like this. You can have it halfway bent. And that creates a little bit more, I would say, space through the lower back. If not, you can straighten if that feels comfortable. But here's something I've kind of learned through the years. If you have had a lower back injury before, chances are you might not be able to hold too long in this posture of a straight leg. You might want to bend slightly because time and gravity is going to create more intensity through this stretch. One of the things you can do, which I also like, is diamond-shaped legs. So see whether that works for you. Arms overhead, if you like. cactus your hands if you don't have space. Or if you have space, just reach as much as you want to. Maybe even bending your elbows, hold on to opposite elbows. So many variations. I shall leave you to it. We'll stay here for another 60 seconds, okay? As we breathe in, no need to hold your core. Allow your belly to bloat up as you inhale. And as you exhale, release. If you're starting to struggle with this stretch because it's starting to get more intense and you want to exit, you might want to bend the knees to step your feet down. This is actually much easier. Or if you prefer the block, this is level 2. It can also come down to level 1 if you prefer. So find your way into holding there for the next 30 seconds. No more fidgeting. Just stay. Then instead of allowing yourself to just hold everything upwards because you're scared to let go, I invite you, close your eyes. Then as you exhale, let go. Almost like the earth is engulfing you as a whole. Keep breathing in through the nose, exhale through the mouth. At the end of your next exhalation, slowly come back with your knees bent if you haven't done so, feet flat onto the ground, hands will come by the side of your hips, then slowly lift your bum up, take the block away, and just allow your spine to settle down. It might feel quite uncomfortable for the first 1 second, 2 seconds, but after that, everything just comes back to normal. Great. If you're feeling quite sleepy, I am as well. And it doesn't help that the weather is quite cool. Now, when you're ready, slowly come up to a seated position in any way that you can. So you might want to roll onto the side or just rock yourself up. Coming into a seated position, cross-legged. Now I'm coming to place a block underneath my bum. Or if you don't have a block, again, you can actually sit on a cushion. Whenever your bum is lifted, you are generally more lifted in that sense to allow yourself to lengthen through the spine. Okay? So hold it here. With the block, your knees perhaps can drop down a little bit more. So if you find that in a cross-legged position, your knees are always popping up, then maybe sit on something so that your knees can actually descend down. Now this helps you to create a little bit more mobility and stretch through your hips. So it's a good thing. Okay, so starting to sit up nice and tall, hands through the thighs, shoulders melting away from your ears. We go through a series of stretches that is quite fluid. So join me. As you inhale, arms all the way up. Then as you exhale, bend your elbows, fingers to press against the back of your skull. Now, lift your chin up. Try not to have your chin down. So chin lifted up, elbows pulling back, but don't lift the shoulders up. Does that make sense? Yeah? Shoulders down, elbows pointing out to the side. Then you're going to start to just twist to your right and left. So seated and cross-legged keeps your hips very firm. It's not going to twist. So it's your upper body that moves. Be mindful that your elbows are open and not closed like this. So open them out towards the side, just allowing that torso to twist. At the same time, lifting through the crown of your head. So you create spaces in between the bones of your spine. Now you're going to start to face forward first. This time, reach arms up as you inhale. And as you exhale, right hand down, side bending to your right. I'm your mirror image. So I'm using my left hand down, but it is your right hand down. We're side bending to your right. If your top shoulder starts to collapse, pull the top shoulder back. The left shoulder, pull it back. Now bottom shoulder melts away from the ears instead of lifting up towards the sky. Maybe soften through the elbow. If you're fairly flexible, you can crawl your fingers away from you. But I don't want you to lift your left bum away from the block or the mat. Friends who are super flexible, drop your bottom elbow down onto the mat. Again, if you're doing that, please make sure you're not lifting your left bum off the mat. Then top arm, instead of bending, I want you to reach straight so you feel a bit more of a stretch. As you inhale, arms up. Then as you exhale, listen, twist and face towards your left. Now if you're not seated on the block, your fingers can come down to the ground. But if you're seated on the block, the backhand can be pressing against the small of your spine. When I say press, it's a gentle one, alright? Then sit up a little taller, rotate more. Maybe chin facing towards your left shoulder. As you breathe in next, arms up. Then as you exhale, bend elbows, hands behind the head. Now this time, heart opens, lifting up towards the chest. Remember, it is the thoracic spine, upper spine that bends backwards. It's not the lower spine. Lift the chin ever so slightly. Just breathe here. Next time you inhale, arms up, lengthen up. No more back bending, side bend to your left. So left palm down, right hand reaches all the way towards your left. Bottom shoulder melts away from your ear, maybe crawling your fingers away from you, maybe reaching, right hand more towards the left side. So if you're doing this, melt the shoulders away from your ears, okay? Top arm is straight by the side of your ear, not in front of your face. Pull your right shoulder back. Again, if you want to go for a little bit more of a stretch, root your right butt cheek down, then crawl your fingers away from you, your bottom fingers. Maybe elbow can descend down onto the mat as well. Hold it there. Are you breathing? Great. As you inhale, both arms up. As you exhale, take a twist towards your left. Hand on the small of your back if you're seated on something high or pressing against the ground. Maybe chin pointing towards your right shoulder, looking past that right shoulder. As you breathe in, both arms up. Then as you exhale, release. 2 more breaths here before we end the class, all right? Inhale, arms all the way up. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale. 1 more breath in here. Inhale. Sitting up nice and tall. Exhale through your mouth. Release. Thank you so much for joining me for this 60-minute Pilates class. It is quite a simple class. Only certain parts can be quite tiring. But other than that, everything should be quite achievable. Any questions or comments, you're more than welcome to actually direct it to the message in this video itself, and I'll try to answer them, okay? If not, have a wonderful, cool Sunday, and I'll see you again next week. Thank you so much.